Hello friends, myself Taslima, MTech student of IES College of Engineering. We are going to discussing about the topic earth pressure or lateral earth pressure. So, when we are constructing any type of geotechnical structure, for that we have to resist some earth or soil. So, the earth will give some pressure. So, that pressure we are discussing about the earth pressure or lateral earth pressure. Firstly, earth retaining structures. There are the structures which are mainly used to hold back or retain a soil mass or water. For example, retaining walls, sheet pile wall, crib wall, basement walls, etc. So, these are some earth retaining structures. Lateral earth pressure. It is the pressure exerted by the earth backfill on the back of the wall. The need of calculating lateral earth pressure is mainly for to design the structures such as retaining walls, bridge abutments, temporary earth support systems, basement walls, etc. The magnitude of lateral earth pressure depends on shear strength characteristics of soil, lateral strain condition, pore water pressure, state of equilibrium of soil, wall and ground surface shape. So, in order to understand the lateral earth pressure, we have to define the coefficient of lateral earth pressure, and it can be denoted by the letter K. So, K will be equal to the ratio of horizontal effective stress sigma H to the vertical effective stress sigma V. So, look at the figure. If this is the wall which is supporting the soil, that means this is the soil, then the soil will give some pressure on this wall. So, that pressure is known as earth pressure or lateral earth pressure. So, consider this is a soil element subjected to vertical and horizontal stress. Then K will be equal to sigma H by sigma V. Sigma V equal to gamma Z. So, we can convert this equation like this. Sigma H equal to K sigma V, which implies sigma H equal to K gamma Z. So, there are three states of lateral earth pressure. First one is at rest earth pressure, second one active earth pressure, third one passive earth pressure. So, first condition, earth pressure at rest. At rest earth pressure occurs when there is no wall rotation such as in braced wall, for example basement wall. So, if this is a rigid wall connected at the top, then if the soil exerts some pressure on this wall and this wall is not moving or there is no wall movement, then this condition is known as earth pressure at rest. So, this is the expression for epsilon H, that means lateral strain, and it will be equal to 0 because there is no wall rotation. So, epsilon H equal to sigma H by ES minus mu into sigma V by ES plus sigma H by ES. Here sigma H is the horizontal stress and ES is the modulus of elasticity and mu is the point source ratio and sigma V is the vertical stress. So, we can convert the equation like this: sigma H by sigma V equal to mu by 1 minus mu. So, sigma H equal to mu by 1 minus mu into gamma Z and K0 equal to mu by 1 minus mu. So, at last sigma H at any depth Z is K0 gamma Z. And another expression for K0. K0 means coefficient of earth pressure at rest. So, K0 equal to 1 minus sin phi for coarse soil and K0 equal to 0.44 plus 0.42 pi by 100 for normally consolidated soils. Then next condition is active earth pressure. Active earth pressure occurs when wall move away from the soil. For example, a typical freestanding retaining wall. For example, if this is the wall, it is supporting the soil, and when the soil exerts pressure on this wall and the wall is moving like this, then that means away from the soil. This condition is known as active earth pressure condition, or in another way we can express, that means if the direction of force and direction of movement of wall is in the same direction, then this condition is known as active earth pressure condition. So the expression for coefficient of active earth pressure Ka equal to tan square 45 minus 5 by 2 equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. So when the wall move away from the soil will always have a tendency to move along with the wall. So there will be occur a failure of soil. So this is the failure wedge, and in the active case this failure wedge will always make an angle 45 plus 5 by 2 with the horizontal. So next case is passive earth pressure. Passive earth pressure occurs when the wall is moving towards into the soil. That means if this is the wall, and when the pressure exerted by the soil leads to the movement of wall, and the wall is moving, if the wall is moving like this, that means towards the soil, then this condition is known as passive earth pressure condition. Or when the direction of the if the direction of the movement of wall and the direction of force is in opposite direction. So here the failure wedge make an angle 45 minus 5 by 2 with the horizontal. So the expression for coefficient of passive earth pressure is tan square 45 plus 5 by 2, that is equal to 1 plus sin phi by 1 minus sin phi. Here Kp will always be higher than K0 and Ka. That means in the case of active earth pressure, Ka have lower value compared to the at rest earth pressure condition and passive earth pressure condition. This is the comparison of the three states of lateral earth pressure. First one is active case, that means wall is moving away from the soil. Second one is the at rest case, there is no wall movement. And third one is the passive case, that means wall is moving towards the soil. Then this is the three states of lateral earth pressure. Here you can understand the three states clearly. That means here the x-axis is wall movement and y-axis is the pressure. So this is the movement of wall in the case of active condition, that means delta A. Here pressure P is very less, and here it is the active at rest condition. Here there is no wall rotation or wall movement, that means delta 0 equal to 0. Then here pressure is higher than in the case of active condition, and here the passive condition, here the deformation of the wall is very higher compared to active condition, and pressure is also higher than at rest condition and active pressure condition. Lateral earth pressure theory. Several investigators proposed many theories related to earth pressure. Out of all these theories, Rankine's earth pressure theory and Coulomb's earth pressure theory are referred to as classical earth pressure theory. First one is Rankine's earth pressure theory. Here the assumptions of this theory are: backfill soil is isotropic, homogeneous and cohesionless. Isotropic means soil having same property in every direction. Homogeneous means soil having same property in everywhere, that means at every point. And cohesionless means soil with a zero cohesion, that means cohesionless means, for example, for cohesionless soil is sandy soil. And second assumption is soil is in a state of plastic equilibrium during active and passive earth pressure conditions. Then third one is the rupture surface is a planar surface, that means the failure surface is linear, and then the backfill surface is horizontal. That means backfill surface means if this is the wall and this is the backfill surface, it should be horizontal in this case. And the last one is the back of the wall is vertical and smooth. Vertical means here if this is the wall, it should be vertical in this case, it should not be inclined. So, and the back of the wall is smooth means the friction between wall and soil is 0. So, first case, active earth pressure of cohesionless soil. Here figure A represent a retaining wall with a cohesionless backfill and B represent the pressure distribution diagram for active condition. Here we can draw the pressure distribution diagram by considering the equation for earth pressure. So, at this point the earth pressure is 0 and up to z depth pressure equal to K0 gamma z, then up to h depth then earth pressure equal to Ka gamma h. So, it will be like it looks like a triangle. So, a active thrust Pa is acting at a height of h/3 from the base and it will be equal to the area of the pressure distribution diagram. So, that means the area of this triangle equal to 1/2 into this side into this side, that means 1/2 into Ka gamma h into h, that means Pa equal to 1/2 into Ka gamma h square. And next one is effect of submergence. In this case, the lateral earth pressure is mainly due to the submerged unit weight of backfill soil and due to pore pressure. That means here the earth pressure equal to submersion of up to h depth earth pressure equal to Ka gamma dash h and plus the effect of pore water pressure, that means gamma W into Z. This triangle is similar to the previous one. Along with this term is added because of the effect of pore water pressure. So, sigma h equal to Ka gamma dash h plus gamma W into h. Gamma dash is the submerged unit weight of soil and gamma W is the unit weight of water. Then next condition is effect of partial submergence. Here the water table is at a depth of h2 from the top. So, here the here the earth pressure is due to the unit weight of soil above the water table and submerged unit weight of soil below the water table plus the effect of pore water pressure. So, sigma h up to depth h2, that means above water table, equal to Ka gamma h2 plus sigma effective sigma h at h1 depth, that means below water table is Ka gamma dash h2 h1 plus effect of pore water pressure, that means gamma W h1. So, sigma h that means earth pressure equal to Ka gamma h2 plus Ka gamma dash h1 plus gamma W h1. Here h1 is the depth of submerged fill and h2 is the depth of fill above the water table. So, next is effect of uniform surcharge. In this case, extra load carried by a retaining structure is known as surcharge. It may be uniform, a line load or an isolated load. So, here this is the surcharge with the intensity of Q. So, in case of a wall retaining a backfill with a horizontal surface level with the top of the wall and carrying a uniform surcharge of intensity Q per unit area, the vertical stress at every elevation in the backfill is considered to be increased by Q. So, the lateral pressure equation is, along with this term, KAQ term will be added in the case of surcharge condition. That means sigma h equal to, that means earth pressure equal to Ka gamma h plus KAQ. Next one is effect of inclined surcharge sloping backfill. That means here the backfill surface is inclined, that means making an angle beta with the horizontal, and the equation for active coefficient of active earth pressure Ka equal to cos beta into cos beta minus root of cos square beta minus cos square phi divided by cos beta plus root of cos square beta minus cos square phi. Here beta is the angle made by the sloping backfill with the horizontal and phi is the angle of inclination. Here the active thrust Pa acting at the height of h by 3 from the base and will always be parallel to the backfill surface. And next is active earth pressure of cohesive soils. Here C value is not 0, C have a particular value. So in this case Pa will be equal to gamma h square by 2 n phi minus 2ch by root n phi plus 2c square by gamma. For C5 soil, here n phi means Ka, and so for pure clay phi equal to 0. In this case Pa equal to 1 by 2 gamma h square minus 2ch plus 2c square by gamma. That means this term is 0. That means phi in the case of phi equal to 0. Next, passive earth pressure for cohesive soils. In this case Pp equal to Pp dash plus Pp double dash. That means passive thrust equal to Pp dash plus Pp double dash. Here Pp dash is the passive thrust acting at a height of h by 3 from the base in the case of this triangle, and Pp double dash is the passive thrust acting at a height of h by 2 from the base. That means in the case of this rectangle, this h by 2 is the centroid of the rectangle and h by 3 is the centroid of the triangle. So Pp equal to 1 by 2 gamma h square n phi plus 2ch root of n phi. That means 1 by 2 into this term into this height plus 2c root n phi into h. Then Coulomb's theory of earth pressure. Here the assumptions are backfill is dry, cohesionless, isotropic and homogeneous. Backfill surface is planar and can be inclined. That means if this is the wall and the backfill surface can be inclined like this, and back of the wall can be inclined to the vertical. That means if the retaining wall is like, if this is the wall and the back of the wall can be inclined like this. And next one, the failure surface is a plane surface which passes through the heel of the wall, and position and the line of the action of earth pressure are known. Sliding wedge is considered to be a rigid body and the earth pressure is obtained by considering the limiting equilibrium of the sliding wedge as hold. So in the case of active condition, here retaining wall the back of the retaining wall is inclined and making an angle alpha to the horizontal, and with the backfill surface making an angle beta with the horizontal, and sliding wedge is making an angle phi with the horizontal, theta with the horizontal. Here sliding wedge is in equilibrium condition under three forces, that means W or P. W means weight of the sliding wedge, and R is the reaction R which is acting at an angle phi to the normal, and active thrust, that means acting at a height of h by 3 from the base and making an angle delta to the normal. Here the soil have a tendency to move downward, so the wall the friction opposing the movement of the soil, so this is the resultant pressure. By knowing the magnitude and by knowing the magnitude of one force and direction of all other force, we can make a force triangle. So this is the force triangle. So from the force triangle we can calculate the value of Pa. So Pa, this is the equation for Pa, 1 by 2 Ka gamma h square. So Ka equation is sin square delta plus phi divided by sin square alpha sin square alpha plus phi divided by sin square alpha into sin alpha minus delta into 1 plus root of sin phi plus delta into sin phi minus beta divided by sin alpha minus delta into sin alpha plus beta whole square. If z equal to 90 degree and delta equal to 0 and beta equal to 0, then Ka equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. So, active earth pressure is the maximum pressure exerted on the wall by the soil before the soil wedge is moving downward or outward. So, next one is Coulomb theory of earth pressure for passive condition, similar to the active condition, but here the wall is trying to move upward and inwards. So, passive earth pressure is the minimum earth pressure exerted by the soil on the wall before the soil wedge is moving upward and inward. So, this is the equation for PP and KP. Problems. What are the limiting values of lateral earth pressure? At a depth of 3 meter in a uniform sand with a unit weight of 20 km per meter cube and a friction angle of 35 degree. The ground surface is level. If a retaining wall with a vertical back face is interposed, determine the total active thrust and the total passive resistance which will act on the wall. That means there is a retaining wall with a vertical back face, retain a soil up to a depth of 3 meter. Soil have a unit weight of 20 km per meter cube and a friction angle of 35 degree. So, we have to find the active thrust and total passive resistance. So, the given values are h equal to 3 meter, gamma equal to 20 km per meter cube, phi equal to 35 degree. So, the equation for active pressure is Ka gamma h. So, that means Ka equal to 1 minus sin 35 by 1 plus sin 35 into gamma means 20 and h means 30. So, the equation, so it will get 16.26 km per meter square. So, similar to active pressure, the passive pressure equal to 221.4 km per meter square. Then the total active thrust per meter run of wall Pa equal to 1 by 2 gamma h square Ka. So, the value of Pa equal to 24.39 kN and Pp equal to 332.1 kN. Second question. A gravity retaining wall retains 12 meter of backfill, gamma equal to 117.7 kN per meter cube, phi equal to 25 degree with a uniform horizontal surface. Assume the wall interface is to be vertical. Determine the magnitude and point of application of the total active pressure. If the water table is a height of 6 meter, how far do the magnitude and point of application of active pressure change? Here we have two conditions. One is without water pressure and one is with water pressure. So, firstly we have to consider the condition that means without water pressure. So, the given values are h equal to 12 meter, gamma equal to 17.7 and phi equal to 25. So, first case dry questionless soil field. That means there is no water table. So, Ka equal to 1 minus sin 25 by 1 plus sin 25 equal to 0.406 and active pressure at the base equal to Ka gamma h, that means 86.2 kN per meter square. The pressure distribution diagram is like this and Pa equal to 1 by 2 Ka gamma h square, that means 5172.2 kN. So, this act at h by 3 distance above the base of the wall, that means h by 3 means 12 by 3, that means 4 meter. So, next case water table at a 6 meter from surface. So, active pressure at 6 meter depth equal to Ka gamma h equal to, that means active earth pressure at 6 meter depth equal to Ka gamma h equal to 0.406 into 17.7 into 6, that is equal to 43.1 kN per meter square. Then active pressure at the base of the wall equal to Ka gamma h, Ka gamma into 6 plus Ka gamma dash into 6 plus gamma w into 6. That means Ka gamma into 6 term means the water pressure, earth pressure in the case of above water table and earth pressure in the case of below water table plus effect of pore water pressure, and this it will be equal to 126.4 kN per meter square. So, the pressure distribution diagram is shown in the figure C. That means here. That means earth pressure due to moist wind weight and earth pressure due to submerged wind weight and effect of pore water pressure. So, total active thrust per meter run equal to area of pressure distribution diagram. That means area of this triangle plus area of this rectangle plus area of this triangle plus area of this triangle equal to 1 by 2 into 6 into 43.1 plus 6 into 43.1 plus 1 by 2 into 6 into 24.4 plus 1 by 2 into 6 into 58.9 equal to 637.8 kilonewton. So, the height of its point of application above the base is obtained by taking moments. So, Z dash equal to area of this triangle into centroid of the triangle into height up to this plus centroid of this triangle. That means height up to this equal to 6 meter plus centroid of the triangle is 6 by 3 equal to 2. Therefore, 6 plus 2 equal to 8. Then 258.6, that means area of this triangle plus centroidal distance of this rectangle equal to 258.6 into 6 by 2 equal to 3. So, next is 73.2, that means area of this triangle into centroidal distance of the triangle, that means 73.2 into 6 by 3, that means 2. Then area of this triangle into centroidal distance, that means 176.7 into 2. So, the point of application is 3.62 meter. So, total thrust increased by amount of 120.6 kilonewton and the point of application gets lowered by 0.38 meter. So, thank you all.